support.
Okay, this is Tigers versus Yankees, take 1.
Welcome back, everyone, and today I'm here with Jeff Grant, SBR contributor, and we're going to be looking at that game between the Tigers and the Yankees. So, Jeff, Miguel Cabrera was held hitless yesterday against the Yankees. Will he have the same fate against Caruda this evening, considering their past against that hurler?
Well, the key is keeping Cabrera in the ballpark. You're really going to have a hard time keeping him off the bases, especially after going hitless in the series opener. But that's what Kuroda does. He keeps players in the ballpark, especially at Yankee Stadium, which gives the Yankees a bit of an edge.
Of course. Now, the Yankees' last 15 games have been decided by 2 or less runs. I mean, what can that be attributed to?
You can attribute that to a few things. The starting rotation is performing at a higher level than people thought, considering the numerous injuries that the rotation has suffered throughout the year. CC Sabathia lost for the year, and Masahiro Tanaka working his way back to the rotation. And on the offensive end, they've really missed key parts of their lineup, especially in the middle of the order, with Mark Teixeira and Carlos Beltran continuing to battle injuries offensively. So when you don't have that middle of the lineup production that can hit the ball out of the ballpark and get key hits in those key situations, it leads to low-scoring affairs, which the Yankees have played a bunch of them recently.
Right, Jeff. And now David Price is going to make his first start for the Tigers since being acquired from the Rays. And Caruda had his 2-game win streak snapped his last time out. So who do you give the edge to in this match?
I think it's a virtual wash. Caruda has been one of the best home pitchers in baseball since he moved from the Los Angeles Dodgers to the New York Yankees. While on the other side, as you mentioned, Price is making his first start for the Tigers after being acquired by a trade from the Tampa Bay Rays. But Price really made his money pitching in AL East ballparks. He's been one of the best pitchers in doing that, and I think that's one of the reasons why the Tigers, playing in the AL Central, but they know that they may face one of the AL East teams in the playoffs. That's one of the reasons they got him. So it's a virtual wash in terms of the starting pitching matchup, which will probably lead to the bullpens getting involved.
All right, Jeff, and taking all that into account, which do you think would be the bet that would benefit us and why?
In that situation, I'm going to take the home underdog with the Price. Kuroda has pitched better than his numbers indicate. He only had a rough start in the first 6 starts of the 2014 campaign. He's been very solid since then. And the bullpen, when he's left the game, has actually blown a lot of save opportunities that he's given them the lead, and the Yankees could have a better record with him on the mound. So I expect the Yankees to possibly get a run or two off Price early here as he's making that first start with the Tigers. Maybe a bit of nerves. So I expect the Yankees maybe to jump on the Tigers. So I'm going to play the Yankees' first 5 innings in this game.
All right, sounds good stuff, man. Thank you very much, Jeff, and hope to have you soon.
Thank you.
For SportsbookReview.com, this is Dax Floyd.
Right, cut. Next one is Red Sox versus Cardinals, take 1.
Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here with Jeff Grant, SBR contributor, and today we're going to be taking a look at that Red Sox against the Cardinals game. So, Jeff, the Red Sox just keep falling deeper and deeper into the abyss. I mean, could you elaborate a little bit on how bad it's been for them as of late? And is there something that in particular that we should keep an eye on?
The Red Sox went through one of the more emotional years of any Major League ball club when they went on to win the World Series with the Boston bombing. They put a lot emotionally into last season, and it really has fallen apart this year, and they're clearly looking toward the future. They're getting a little old, too, especially their key player, David Ortiz, a designated hitter, which may not even play in this game if Boston's manager, John Farrell, elects not to play him at first base because there's no designated hitter in a National League ballpark. But things have just gone wrong for the Red Sox, but look for better things in 2015.
All right. So, and in your article, you talk about how Matt Holliday is primed to help out the Cards. Can you elaborate on that for us, please?
Yeah, he did it again. He did it last year. He did the same exact thing that he's doing this year that he did in 2013. He led the NL in batting and really led the team into the postseason. And he's one of those players. He's one of the few players, especially in the senior circuit, that can really put a team on his back and carry them. He's really missed Carlos Beltran, of course, who went to the New York Yankees during the offseason. He was really protection in front and in back of Matt Holliday. So he's had to make some adjustments, and he's really in prime form. So look for Holliday to be a major factor going forward for the Cardinals.
All right, Jeff. And De La Rosa, the Red Sox starting hurler, has kind of been struggling as of late, while Lynn pretty much had a great July. So how do you think that we can take advantage of this when it comes to making our bets?
I think both starting pitchers are going to perform well here. De La Rosa really just ran into a hot Toronto Blue Jays offensive club, one of the better offensive teams in all of baseball. And we've mentioned a few times in videos, it's very hard, especially for a young pitcher, to face the same team back-to-back. So I'm going to look for a much better performance from him. A lot of people are also going to look at his road performances, but he's faced some of the better hitting clubs in all of baseball when pitching away from Fenway Park. While you look at Lynn, he's not getting the run support that he's gotten used to during his time in St. Louis, so he's really bared down, and he had one of the best Julys of any pitcher in baseball. So I look for both pitchers to perform well.
All right, Jeff, and what's the bet that you're going to recommend us here, and explain us why?
I'm going to go with the under here. I'm going to go with the under. Both these teams have really struggled offensively. When you look at the numbers from 2013 versus 2014, it's rather dramatic. On the Cardinals' end, they're not doing it with runners in scoring position. They put it up in an absurd average in that category last year. And as I mentioned, there's a chance that David Ortiz may not play in this game, and he's really the only threat for the Red Sox in the middle of the lineup until Alan Craig and Yosidis Cespedes get things going.
All right, I appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you very much, and hope to have you back soon.
Thank you.
SportsbookReview.com, this is Dax Floyd. NFL preseason Colts against the Jets. Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here with Jeff Grant, SBR contributor, and today we're going to be taking a look at that NFL preseason match between the Colts and the Jets. All right, Jeff, so Indy's main concern right now is protecting Andrew Luck, considering the fact that there's going to be 3 new additions to the offensive line. But I think the biggest hit for the team right now is that left guard, Donald Thomas, is out for the season. But can you elaborate a little bit more on this?
Thomas was somebody that the Colts were penciling in to really stabilize that offensive front. Andrew Luck has been under pressure his entire career since the Colts drafted him number 1 a couple years ago out of Stanford. They really are happy with what they have in terms of the tackle position on the left and right side in controlling the edges. But the Jets will definitely test that interior offensive line for the Colts in this one, and I think it gives the Jets an advantage. You have to protect somebody like Andrew Luck, who's basically somebody that everybody thinks is going to take over and basically get handed the torch from Peyton Manning and Tom Brady as the best quarterback in the NFL in the next year or two.
Right. Now, we know that Smith should be the actual starting quarterback for the Jets, from what we've heard from team officials. But do you expect to see some improvement in Geno's game, considering that now he's looking to rush the ball a little bit more, by adding those 10 extra pounds that he was talking about, muscle?
Yeah, he added those 10 extra pounds mainly to absorb hits when he does take off and run. He showed a keen ability to do that late in the 2013 regular season, which led the Jets to ultimately an 8-8 record, but they did win 3 of their last 4 games with Smith under center. He's a guy that needs to gain confidence, and this is a position that he may be able to do so as the Colts have a lot of changes that they're making on the defensive end. So look for him not only to throw the ball, but take those opportunities to run when the secondary really loses its eye. And Smith, he is capable of going 10, 20 yards downfield before the defense gets to him.
Right. And definitely having Vic as a mentor, that's something that's going to help him a lot. In any case, moving on, a lot of people were really disappointed with Trent Richardson's numbers last season. But, in my case, I consider that he came in mid-season and he had to learn a new playbook. Obviously, that's not going to help him out. Now, in this case, he's going up against Gang Green. That's not going to be a morale booster considering the fact that they have a really big defense. Do you expect him to be in better form this season? I do.
You have to think so. He was taking as high as a running back has been taken in recent years. The NFL has really placed wide receivers and quarterbacks at a premium now that it's a passing league. But it is important to get some type of running game for the Colts, and they do like what they've seen. But he's always somebody that's been bothered by injuries, and he's really never had a big workload. What I mean by that is when he was at Alabama, his backup was Eddie Lacy, who's really taken over as the best running back out of Alabama in the NFL right now, playing for the Green Bay Packers. So he's never had a full workload, so the Colts are hoping that he's able to get in. He's really put a benchmark of trying to gain over 1,000 yards. We'll see, but the Jets are really fearsome in that front, and they're really looking to get after it on Thursday.
Yeah, no doubt. And now, you mentioned on your article that the Jets, they've never covered the number in the first preseason game under Rex Ryan. But you're actually recommending the Jets at -3 for their first game. I mean, can you explain the logic behind that, and why wouldn't we consider a play on the under instead?
You know, I'm going to attribute it to the fact that Rex Ryan is really an X and O's guy, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, which has led New York to finishes in the top upper tier of the NFL in terms of total defense since he's gained that role as head coach of the New York Jets. But now he's starting to learn that it's more than that. And what I mean by that is he really needs to build off that 8-8 start. When they went 6-10 in 2012, they were miserable in the preseason. He really just said, I'm looking to get ready for the regular season after making the playoffs his first 3 years as a head coach. It really slapped him in the face. And last year with a rookie quarterback, they won 3 of 4 games. And like I said, Geno Smith is a player that needs confidence, especially with Michael Vick in the backup role. The New York Jets want to keep Vick as a backup because he's unable to make it through a full 16-game season. But this is a very important game to build confidence for Geno Smith. So I think Rex Ryan places a little more emphasis in preseason game 1, so I'm expecting him to finally cover in that situation.
All right, man. Sounds like a good play there. Jeff, thanks once again for your insight, and hope to have you back soon.
Thank you, Dax.
And for SportsbookReview.com, this is Dax Floyd. All right, cool. All right, dude. Thanks a lot, man.
No problem.